Hi, you can hear me, right? Hi, hi. This speaker. Audio. Hello, hello, hello. Testing. Hello. Hello. Okay. Can you hear me? Speaker two. Okay. Alright. Okay. Where's not? All right. Yep, yep, yep. Hi,
Yeah.
Nat.
Yeah. Hi. Good
Welcome.
morning. Good afternoon. Good
Hi.
evening.
Welcome. Yeah.
Thank
Good to see
you.
you. Good to have you.
Good to have you. Good to have you, man.
Yeah. All right. So let's just do like a quick introduction, and
Okay.
then yeah. Okay. So you're welcome once again. So we're all welcome to your expert tech guide, the debut episode, and we are pleased to have Nathan Clifford as our first guest for the debut episode. We are so glad to have you here.
Yes.
Welcome
Thank you.
once again. Yes, and one person may want to ask why Expert Tech Guide Q&A episodes. Basically, we are going to, or the why for your Expert Tech Guide Q&A episode is to guide at least 100,000 African techies within the next 3 years to land their first tech jobs within specific industries. That's the big why for what we're doing. And then we're glad to have Nathan today, who is a former data scientist at Union Bank of Nigeria from August 2002, beg your pardon, to August 2023. Nathan worked for 1 year as a data scientist at Union Bank of Nigeria. And within a short while, he was able to hit remarkable domain stood out for me, which is Nathan rebuilt a regional dashboard in Union Bank of Nigeria using the Power BI. And this was instrumental in improving the bank's operational efficiency and customer satisfaction, resulting in a 15% increase in deposits and a 12% increase in 20% improvement in customer retention. Wow. I'm particular about the statistics and the percentage, right? So our first question, since it's a Q&A, I want to ask Nathan, why did you consider using Power BI amongst other tools to rebuild Union Bank's regional dashboard?
Okay. Thank you
Over
for
to
that
you.
question. Um. So Power BI, it's my baby. So it's just like saying, why do you consider using your baby, right? Okay. In the banking space, just like most other corporates, Microsoft occupies a major part of the tech ecosystem. So basically, Power BI becomes very handy for dashboards because it's just going to offer you that seamless integration with every other Microsoft tool that the bank already uses. So that's the first consideration for me.
Okay.
Secondly, Power BI offers advanced analytics addition to artificial intelligence and solutions embedded within it. So you could actually do things like natural language processing. So you could ask questions, and then those questions get translated to queries that gets visuals built up and displayed within milliseconds, right? You could
Okay.
also do things like anomaly detection. You can do a couple of forecasting and machine learning with Power BI. So for me, being a data scientist, who it's asked to rebuild a dashboard, Power BI becomes handy because I can quickly do predictive analytics, and of course, use one stone to kill 10 birds, as the case may be, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So those and many more. I mean, a couple of other reasons, really. The last I would just highlight is that Power BI offers a lot of visualization options. And the good thing about this is that the stack is always growing because it is built to be open source. So people like you and I continue to develop those visuals that drive business intelligence. So you could just quickly download any visual, embed it, and you're good to go. Yeah, that's it.
Hmm. Hmm. Nice. All right, thank you for that. I think that was really precise because it did like a summary of the Power BI itself. And yeah, impressive. I think people in the data field will relate more than yeah others. Okay, so let's dive straight into the questions as regards today's Q&A. That was question one. Yeah, let's go next deep now. Question two is, what are the specific skill sets that Nigerian banks, now we are using Union Bank as a case study, what are the
That's
specific
fine.
skills that Nigerian banks look for in potential candidates?
Okay. So thank you. Specific skills that Nigerian banks look forward to in potential candidates, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the couple of tools. Of course, you know that the way every organization will structure their data and their infrastructure will always differ. However, there are tools you would find that tend to cut across board within the banking industry, right? So you have tools like SQL. You cannot
Okay.
skip SQL, right? Structured query language, right? So that's the father of everything analytics. And of course, in the banking system, you find out that most banks, especially in Nigeria, use Oracle. So when you learn Oracle, when you learn SQL, it's good to learn SQL with respect to Oracle so that you're fitting perfectly right into the of course, Power BI already mentioned, then you have Python. So Python is vast, just like you know, but in the banking system here, so Python for automation,
Okay.
Python for visualization, Python for machine learning, and Python for data analysis. So these four areas are areas that banks are heavy on in the
Mm,
country, right? And of course, you have tools like SSIS, SQL Server Integration Service, SSRS, SQL Server Reporting Service, right? And then you have tools. Some people use Tableau, but Tableau is not widespread in the country, and especially in the
okay.
banking sector. Then, depending on what bank you're working for, Union Bank at my time started a big data project. So, Spark,
Okay.
HDFS, was it now Apache Airflow, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, familiar with Apache.
Came in handy. Of course, I had to learn on the job, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the major tools you will learn and know, and then you would stand out. Let me not even forget to mention Excel. Excel is also powerful.
Mm,
We cannot skip
mm,
that, right? So advanced
yeah.
Excel. So you want to learn Power Query in Excel. You want to learn data modeling in Excel. You want to learn how to use specific functions like the VLOOKUP, index and match, and the rest of that in Excel. And then you should also be able to import data from different sources in Excel, including databases. Yeah, so that's that.
Oh, great, great. So I see that there are like a range of skills or a range of tools now. Let me
Yeah,
say tools plus skills, right?
yeah,
Good. Yeah,
yeah.
but then we ask for a specific skill. Is there like a specific maybe human skill, or because now I think
Okay.
we're talking about the tool side of the skill. So is there like a human side now of the skill Nigerian banks look for a potential candidate?
Okay, so when you say human skill, do you mean non-technical skill?
Yes.
Oh, come on,
Yeah.
that's a lot, right? Um, so analytical thinking is one. Of course, the numbers and the tools don't do the thinking for you, right?
Mm,
My unit in the bank was advanced analytics and data science, right? So analytical thinking, research. So you should be a research driven person. It's very
mm-hmm,
important. You should be open to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
mm-hmm,
It's very important. Of course, you should also have some good interpersonal skills because you're going to depend on one or two persons in the business to be able to build a solution or complete a
mm,
project. So you might find yourself relying on a business HR business partner and all of those people and analysts of different units, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who you may rely on for domain knowledge to be able to profile solutions, right? So interpersonal skills, interpersonal relationship skills, of course, also comes in handy. And the last but not the least, I will just mention is curiosity. It's
Mm.
very important, right?
Mm.
You must be able to ask questions and never get tired of asking questions. The fact is that most of the solutions you build will be used by executives for decision making. So you must be open to asking lots of questions,
Mm-hmm.
driving it down, and getting to the roots of whatever it is you're building, so that in the end you're not just writing nonsense, as one of our senior managers would say in the
Right.
bank. So you don't just code nonsense, but you code solutions.
Great. So you don't just code nonsense, you code solutions. And this brings me to saying that asking the right question is as good as asking a question. Asking the right
Honestly.
question, yeah, should be the focus. Yeah, because people can ask questions, but when you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right answer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
just
agree.
to add that in. Yeah. All right. So the third question is: are there opportunities for hands-on experience or internships as part of Union Bank's Tech Academy program? Are there
Okay.
opportunities for experience?
Okay. So yeah. So talking about internship generally, yeah, banks offer internship. Maybe not as much as some other industries, right? But there are a few internship opportunities in banks. Um, and then talking about Union Bank specifically, there are, yes. So when you get in through the Tech Bootcamp program, right, you're not
Yeah.
going to be an intern per se. So it is called graduate trainee, right? So you become a graduate trainee within the
Yeah.
bank. So that's an 80% probability that once you get to the Tech Academy, you will get in, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely you will be there. So let me so instead of calling it internship, let me just call it graduate trainee opportunity, right? So
Okay.
the Tech Bootcamp Academy just graduates you into a trainee within the bank and within the tech what's it called spaces and
Mm-hmm.
opportunities that will be available within the bank. Yeah. And by the
Okay.
way, don't get
Precise.
scared. Yeah, banks have a lot of opportunity
Mm. Mm. Okay.
and
Banks have a lot of
overwhelmed.
opportunities.
Yeah, bank
Mm-hmm.
staff are overwhelmed really. My sets
Mm.
were up to 100. About 80 of us got in, and to be frank, when we were in, it didn't even look like the set of people came in because the work was more than the workforce.
Workers more than the workers, right? Okay, so I think this should bring us straight to the $1 million question that says, how do how do beginners, how do beginner techies, how do average techies, how do professional techies get this opportunity in the bank? What should they do?
Okay. I don't know. I know I don't have all the time. I would have just loved to share my story. I
Yeah, I
used to
think
be
you
a
should go
salesman.
ahead. Yeah, you
Okay,
should go
that's fine.
ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I used to be a salesman. I started my career in Technology Distributions Limited, subsidiary of Zynos Group, as manager. So I was selling, right? I had
Mm,
opportunities. I traveled. I'd gone to Ghana to hold a conference. I was the speaker, So I had all those wonderful opportunities. I left the bank
mm,
so that I can focus on data science, right?
yeah.
So I'm sharing this story so that you could as well pick lessons from this story, right? So when I resigned from my sales job, I got an offer for a $1,000 job in Ghana with official car and house, also for sales, but I declined
Mm,
it. Why?
mm,
Because it doesn't tie into my tech vision,
mm,
basically.
mm, mm, mm.
So fast forward to today. Currently, I work with MTN as a data analyst and engineer, and of course, it is quite good. We are getting there, right? We are getting
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I've
yeah.
shared that story just to let you know that getting into this space determination. And I'm not trying to sound like a motivational speaker because I'm not one. I'm just telling you what I did, right? So you will definitely need to shun a lot of distractions. To be frank, tech is not easy. Forget about the stories you've had. It's a lot of hard work. That's the fact.
mm,
And you
mm,
must be determined to break into it. Else you give up
mm.
like a thousand others have given up. The truth is a lot of people have names, name tags that actually do not represent who they are.
Mm.
When I began to do interviews and exams, that's when I realized that a lot of people don't actually know as much as they do. Funnily,
Yeah,
let me
true.
even tell you, the story I had today from one of the banks I won't mention. You know, someone was being interviewed. He wanted a banking officer position, good pay, heavy pay. I mean, almost in a. I mean, let's not mention figures, right? You
Yeah.
know, in some queries, and then that comes back to preparation. If you want to break in, preparation must meet opportunity. And what does that entail? Spend time learning the skills, spend time building online presence, spend time looking out for the opportunities. Very, very important, right? And of course, if you can and if you do work on, and did you lose me at any point? I hope I'm
No, no,
still
no. I
audible.
was, I was, I was on.
Okay, that's fine. To spend time learning the skills, get to the root of it. Don't be a shallow tech person. Get deep, right? I've been on interviews where I was asked questions where I knew nothing about it.
Mm.
I felt embarrassed the first time I was asked about some queries. I was like, "Come on, what's that?" Of course, but the good thing is that I note that my and of course, once I'm done, I learn with it basically. So,
Alright.
just to summarize, right? Um,
Uh,
be very determined to break into the field. Don't
mm,
get tired. No matter the
mm.
number of rejections you get, no matter the number of turn downs and love letters, from HRs, right? Don't
Alright.
don't just give up. Right, that's one. Secondly,
Mm,
spend time preparing. Learn the skills. Very, very important. Learn the
mm,
skills.
mm.
Very important. And of course, as you learn, practice, do projects, volunteer, join groups, basically do those things, publish it online, ensure you're being seen, and then look out for opportunities. Some people prepare, but when opportunities come, they are nowhere. So
Mm.
also position yourself for the opportunity. Use some other job websites. Jobberman is my favorite, followed by Jobzilla, and of course, you will definitely break in and break through. And I can assure you on that because I, for one, I'm a first-hand. I've experienced it firsthand, really, and I can share from my experience. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much. So, as we draw to the end of this Q&A, I want to know: is there any specific link or specific website techies can go to apply?
Okay, so the funny thing, there is no specific link. That's funny, but it's
Okay.
the fact. That's funny, but it's the fact. But for me, Jobberman is perfect. And that's because when you go to Jobberman, you can filter by job type. So for us in the data space, there is software and data option. So when you choose that, and then you filter a lot of available opportunities. So I got both the Union Bank job and MTN job on Jobberman, right? So Jobberman, it's perfect. Jobzilla is another good website. Set up notification and lookouts, right? LinkedIn is another powerful place. I remember turning
Mm.
down a job offer from LinkedIn, and that's because they wanted to pay what looked like peanuts, right? So and I felt it wasn't right for a data analyst. And of
Yeah.
course, another thing I would just mention, just by the way, it's you should be able to price yourself well. Don't overprice.
Mm.
Know what stage you are in the journey
Mm.
so that you can
Mm.
price yourself right. Yeah. So basically, those three are my go-to websites. A lot of others, a thousand others, But those
Mm.
three are my go-to websites.
Mm. Awesome, awesome. Jobman, Jobzilla, and LinkedIn, right? Yeah, are the three go-to websites for techies seeking to get a tech job or your first tech job in a bank, Nigerian bank, right? I think this should also
Yeah.
apply to maybe banks in across Africa or banks. Does it also apply to banks across Africa?
No, so they yeah, so LinkedIn, banks across Africa and other firms, right? Other industries basically. But Jobzilla, Jobberman, much more focused in Nigeria.
Nigeria. Okay, great,
Yeah,
great. Yeah, because I also got my remote job on LinkedIn, connected with the other one on LinkedIn as well. You know,
awesome.
yeah. So LinkedIn is awesome. Actually,
And congratulations,
I would,
Collins. I
I
think
would.
I've not had the point to tell you that.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man. Thanks, man.
awesome.
Yeah. LinkedIn, like you said, is just put yourself out there. You know, preparation, meeting opportunity. Like I always tell people, like the tech offers never end. Tech jobs are, I would say, like you said, usually more than the workers, right? The work to
Yeah,
do is usually more than the workers. So if you spend your time, grinding, preparing, I bet you when the opportunities come, you will be a professional that whoever wants to employ you will feel cheated, pay you lower than a certain standard, right? Yeah,
yeah,
because I mean, I recall when I had that offer too in the Netherlands. They actually felt like I was more than the role. Yeah, but
mhm,
this was many years of preparation, like you said, many
yeah,
years of behind the scene preparation. Most times is not on LinkedIn, it's not on social media. It's
yeah,
just you in
exactly.
front of your laptop, yeah, in the middle of the night sometimes when no one is
Exactly.
watching. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's just okay. So Nat, thank you so much. I'll give you 1 minute to give your last words. Yeah, and then we'll call it a wrap.
Okay. I hope I wouldn't know if any other person has a question from the
A
audience, but
question, right? So yeah, let me
yes.
check. Okay, no
Okay, that's
questions
fine.
dropped yet. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Last words. I will always have a lot of words. So basically, this is one of the things I enjoy doing, and I would mention that it's also important to have a mentor. Have a mentor.
Mm,
So
mm,
I had one, and I still have him. Right, just that I've
mm,
grown to a point where I worry him less. You know,
yeah.
or it's important to have a mentor. Amma
Mm-hmm,
Pascal, it's my mentor. We started
mm,
as in 2019. We did a project together, and that project brought me out to limelight, basically. So in that
mm,
project, we analyzed um, the tweets of Nigerians as regards the 2019 presidential candidates.
mm-hmm,
So we gathered about 498,000 tweets. So
mm-hmm,
we did, basically, and then we used Python to do a lot of cleaning and transformation, and then we got it to a good state. I imported it into Power BI, and then I did the visualizations and we shared. The outcome of so it was a natural language processing project. So the outcome of our analysis was actually what played out when the election finally held, and I also
mm.
published it. So wherever I go
Interesting.
and I share that story, it gives me this special consideration. Just
Mm.
places me on a higher pedestal than other candidates because people are always interested. How did you do it? You know,
True, right?
what was
True.
basically, I mean, what how did you even come about the idea in the first place, right? And that's
Mm.
because I got a mentor who pushed and continues to push me. And by the way, the guy is somewhere in Kenya doing exploits, right?
Oh, nice.
While his mentees are here, helping
Yeah.
Nigeria. So get a mentor. Get a mentor. It's very important. Don't do
Mm.
this alone. Also
No.
try to belong to a community,
Yeah.
online,
Community.
offline. Azure, of course, Azure is by Microsoft, but funnily, there is Azure community, there is Data First, there is Data
Mm-hmm.
Science Nigeria,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of other hidden groups, basically, that you may or may not have seen, but if you check online, you're going to see them. So join groups on Discord, join on Telegram, join on LinkedIn, and make sure you're being carried along, right? Make sure you're asking questions. I've already mentioned
Yeah.
curiosity, right? You
Yeah.
cannot be a data expert without curiosity, because even when you
Mm.
have the data, it is curiosity that will give you insights. And if you're going
Okay.
to predict, you're still going to apply a scientific process to it, because you would have made some guesses, you would have also made some assumptions that you now
Yeah.
want to check with your data. So, I mean, curiosity will always come in handy. It's very, very
Mm.
important. Okay, let me just
Curiosity
drop
would
this.
always come in handy. Mm. Yeah, right. Thank you so much, Nat. So we have a question here.
That's
Tunde,
fine.
a question by Tunde Ayula. He says,
Okay,
for newbies who have learned data analysis and want to
okay,
diversify to business analysis, what will you
okay.
suggest as the roadmap?
Okay. So, business analysis can also be learned, right? So if you check online for business analysis, it is something you can learn. So in the firm where I worked before now, the bank where I worked, we have business analysts, and you know the funny thing, some of those
Mm.
guys never did business analysis elsewhere, right?
Mm.
So they just learned the regular data analysis tools, and then they came in and there you are. But if you need a roadmap, right, business analysis needs a lot of Excel, and
Yeah.
that is the fact, because
Mm.
you're basically tracking a business process end to end. You're
Okay.
basically tracking the developers or the analysts or the scientists, and then on the other hand, holding on to the business so that there is a
Mm-hmm.
proper handshake and synergy. And then, so in the end, you're not building a solution that is divergent from whatever vision um, whoever provisioned that project had in mind, right? So you're going to need a lot of Excel. That is one. So get grounded in Excel, because you do a lot of tracking and you do a lot of monitoring. There is also a product by Microsoft. It was just introduced in the bank, and I can't remember the name, but if you check business analysis product on Microsoft, you would see, right? So it's also used to track projects end to end, right? So the
Mm.
business analysts in the bank use that as well. As a business analyst, you should also be good with SQL, so
Mm.
that nobody drills you with misinformation. Techies, somehow some of us are actually good with jargons, so we
Yeah,
could
true.
just stand and just tell you things,
True.
So get good with SQL, also get good with Power BI. So get good with Power BI, very important. And finally, this is not actually technical, but it's important. Get used to understanding businesses. So you could
Mm.
actually subscribe to a business journal so that you understand how analysis are done. So
Mm.
Wall Street Journal, Harvard Business Review, um,
Mm.
publications by PwC, KPMG, all of those publications. Get to read those things with an eye for details, right? So that you understand how reporting with expertise is done, right? And analysis of businesses with expertise is done. It may not be very technical, but it's a very important skill to have. So if you have all of
Mm.
that, and you have a good way of blending it into your CV, you would definitely be fine. I don't want to talk about business analysis certification, because you should have
Yeah.
started, before you even start talking about certification, because some of those certifications are quite costly. Yeah. Okay, let me just end it there.
All right, thank you so much. That was detailed answer. Thank you so much. Yeah, because we're pressed for time and we don't want this to go more than we've about overshot for 5 minutes already. But it was an
Oh,
exciting
apologies.
conversation, Nat. Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for having us. We are glad, and we want to have more conversations. Perhaps with your mentor in Kenya to reschedule that maybe for some time. Yeah. yeah, maybe a
That's
part
fine.
of this. Yeah, yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Nat. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And before you go, let me just tell them about the next episode two. We'll be having is 5 things to do to land your first tech job in telecoms. So, like I told you, the idea is we're trying to see how we can help at least 100,000 Africans get their first tech job, right? So we are going to cut across various industries. We started with banks, now we're going to telecoms, and we're going to have as our guest a product and a sales manager at one of the top 1% telecoms company. He's an amazing guy, and you won't want to miss the next section on the 4th of November, Saturday. And we keep doing this. And we have another section for the aviation industry, how to get a tech job there. So it's going to be amazing. So subscribe if you've not and turn on your post notification. Thank you so much, Nat. It's good to have you here and we'll continue
Thank you.
offline. Good to have
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Thank you.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Bye.
Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.